This Pokemon V can snipe any of your opponent's Pokemon for over 200 damage. Roll the intro. What is going on, everybody? Hitmonchanning here, back again with another Pokemon trading card game online video, and today we're going to be covering Beedrill V. Beedrill V is a card that I think is super underestimated and has the potential to be very powerful. Its Swarming Sting attack is super cool. For only a grass, and a colorless, this attack does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each of your Beedrill V in play. If you have all 4 Beedrill V in play, you're going to be doing 200 damage anywhere on the board. Slap a Telescopic Sight on your Beedrill, and you're going to be doing 230 damage to your opponent's benched Pokemon V. Now, you might be thinking, how do we power this up quickly and efficiently? Well, this new supporter card, Gardenia's Vigor from Astral Radiance, reads draw 2 cards. If you drew any cards in this way, attach up to 2 grass energy from your hand to one of your benched Pokemon. And now you also might be thinking, okay, that's good and all, but how are we going to make sure our Beedrill are on the bench? Well, we have a bunch of switching cards in here, like we have Air Balloon and we have Escape Rope. And to help all the pieces fall into play, we play a 2-2 line of Hisuian Lilligant V and Hisuian Lilligant VSTAR because of Hisuian Lilligant's VSTAR's VSTAR power. The ability Star Perfume reads once during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 5 in any combination of grass Pokemon and grass energy cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So Star Perfume not only allows us to get all of our Beedrill V, it also allows us to get as many grass energies as we need in order to successfully use Gardenia's Vigor and power up our Beedrill V. Just in case our Beedrill are prized, we have 2 copies of Hisuian Heavy Ball in the deck, so we can look at our prize cards, take a basic Pokemon in from there, and put the Heavy Ball in its place. Now, we also run some Pokégears to get some other supporters. We play Clara in the deck to get our knocked out Beedrills and energies back into our hand in order to keep our damage output very high. We have trekking shoes as well to dig through our deck, and I also play 2 copies of Crobat V to help us draw through the deck a lot faster, as well as a Lumineon V to guarantee us our Clara or our Gardenia's Vigor. 2 copies of Boss, 4 Research, 2 Telescopic Sight, and 12 Energy. The only other card in here I want to talk about is the 1 copy of Pokemon Catcher. And now, the reason I play a single Pokemon Catcher in here is because sometimes you really need to get something into the active and use Gardenia at the same time, and this one Pokemon Catcher will allow that very rare scenario to occur. We actually have no Radiant Pokemon in this deck, no Radiant Greninja, no Radiant Hawlucha, just simply because our Radiant Greninja gets our energy in the discard, but we want them in our hand. Even though it helps us draw more, we're very tight on bench space, considering we need to have 4 Beedrill in play at all time, so I don't think any Radiant Pokemon is really a good fit for this deck. But I've been having a lot of success with this deck. Hisuian Lilligant always comes in clutch with the ability, and I've been winning game after game playing these cards. So we're going to hopefully jump into some games right now and catch a few good matches. Unfortunately, we lose this coin flip, but our opponent's going to go first, and we have actually a very good opening hand here. That's what I like to see. I'm going to start with the Beedrill because we have the switch option, and my opponent's going to go for Mulligan too, so we'll see if they're playing Dialga or not. And it looks like they might be. Oh, they're playing Duraludon. They have the Single Strike Mustard in there. Going for 6 Mulligans. This is going to make our setup really crazy right here. We're just going to end like that. They're going to be able to start, and they are playing Duraludon, so the good thing about our deck is we don't use special energy, and we can hopefully snipe their Arceuses and Duraludons before they can get set up here. But we have a huge hand to work with, and we might actually be able to get a snipe if we are lucky. So we're going to go ahead and quick ball away this Turffield. Grab ourselves. And we have a prize Beedrill, which is not good, and no Heavy Ball in hand. We're going to grab that Beedrill. There's actually not a whole lot we can do. We're just going to have to thin, and hope for the best here. But we're going to Gardenia. Grab 2 cards. We do draw into the Lilligant, which is just what I wanted to see, actually. Play down that Lilligant, and we're going to just drop a Pokégear. We don't actually need that Clara right now. We'll just leave it. And we can Escape Rope here, bring their Arceus into the active, but sniping their Duraludon for a clean 100. No. Yes, we sniped their Duraludon for a clean 100 damage, and I'm going to explain to you why. Their Duraludon can one-shot us, while Arceus VSTAR cannot. The double turbo and their own. With the double turbo, they're only going to be doing 180. If they find the belt, well, they might be doing a little bit more, and we might be in a little bit of a pickle. But we'll see what they actually decide to do here. Sniping the Arceus wouldn't have mattered as much because they are most likely just going to get rid of it. But it looks like they're going to go for the Trinity Charge here, powering up their other Duraludon V, which if we can get everything we need here, which is very possible, we can actually knock that Duraludon out. And they're only going to get 2 energy on it, which is good for us. We can go into our Lilligant here, and we can start Perfume, grabbing our Beedrill, a bunch of energy. We'll even grab another VSTAR here. We just need to find a Heavy Ball and a Telescopic Sight, and then we are set to go. So we can attach to one of our benched Beedrill. We can Trekking Shoes right here. We'll grab a Quick Ball actually, just so we can take a peek into the deck. Get rid of one of our researches. We have Crobats. We have both our Heavy Balls. We have our Gardenias. We have some energy. We have everything we need here. There's no way I can really thin my hand down even more, so I'm going to just grab this to get rid of it. And we're going to have to go for a Professor's Research here, dumping our entire hand, and hopefully the cards are in our favor, which they are. We can grab that Heavy Ball and grab the Beedrill, play it onto the bench. We'll just play the Trekking Shoes first. Another Heavy Ball is not needed now. I'm going to Crobat for next turn, which is really, really good. I'm going to wait to use our Ordinary Rod, but I will use this Telescopic Sight, and I will do Swarming Sting for 230 damage, knocking out my opponent's Duraludon V. Now, you can see why this deck has the speed that it has. We already have 19 cards left in deck, and it's only our, second turn, which is really, really good. Now, my opponent has to evolve to Arceus here in order to take a profound knockout, but I have a trick up my sleeve. I purposely left that bench spot open because I can Ordinary Rod back my Lumineon, Quick Ball for my Lumineon, and find Boss's Orders to bring up the Duraludon while also knocking out my opponent's Arceus V if they don't evolve it. But they might be a bit stuck here, so we'll see what they do. Even if they evolve into Duraludon VMAX, we're going to be doing 230 damage. Plus 100, that's 330. If they don't evolve into the VMAX and have a big charm on them, we just win. Straight up. There's really not much they can do. We can take 3 prizes, then we can kind of keep looping our Beedrills and sniping our opponent's bench. They try and make you play the 8 prize game, but when they can't even get a 3 prizer out, they're just going to go ahead and pass, which makes our life a hell of a lot easier. Because, oh, I misplayed that. Oopsie. I misplayed that heavily. That's okay. We can Ordinary Rod first. We need to get just the Lumineon, but we'll also grab 2 energies. That was a little bit of a misplay, but that's okay, because we can just go ahead and Gardenia for 1 energy onto our bench Beedrill. And we can get rid of this Quick Ball now. We'll grab the Lumineon. We can just do our same play next turn. Just knock this out right now. Swarming Sting. KO the bench. We don't even need to do that other play. Grabbing 2 prizes, which leaves them to attack with Arceus V. If my opponent cannot find their VSTAR or find anything to basically knock out a bunch of our Beedrills, then we have the dub, just because we have the Clara now. I would have liked to do that crazy boss play, taking out all their heavy hitters, but it looks like my opponent is very stuck here with not much to go off of. So I think this game is safely in our favor. We can safely say that the Beedrill V power has destroyed Arceus Duraludon in spectacular fashion. The deck functioned exactly as it needed to. And this is all you need for your board right here, which frees up space for some support Pokemon such as Lumineon, and they're just going to give this one to us, I believe. That we draw into the boss as a top deck just have the Swarming Sting, the active Arceus, and my opponent's just got to pass, and then we just win the game. Even if they have a VSTAR here, it doesn't matter. We just need to find one energy. We need to find one energy, which is guaranteed because of the Clara, unless we get Marnied. But my opponent has pretty much given up, it seems, on trying to take down the powerhouse that is Beedrill V. Nobody thought that Beedrill would be as strong as it is. But I think thanks to Lilligant VSTAR and Gardenia's Vigor, you can actually take a dub against top tier decks such as Arceus, VSTAR, Duraludon, VMAX. Unfortunately, we lost the coin flip, but we're going to be starting with our Beedrill V. My opponent's going to have to mulligan, so we're going to get a sneak peek at what they are playing here. And it looks like a single strike Urshifu deck. I haven't played against single strike in a long time, but what's good for us is Umbreon is weak to grass. And we have a really good opening hand here, actually. Plus mulligans, that's great. My opponent's going to start, but they have an Umbreon in the active, which might be a little worrisome for them. But we'll have to take a look and see what they decide to play. They're going to bench an Urshifu. If they don't get any Houndour down here, we are going to be in a very, very good position. But we'll have to kind of strategize and see. We're going to definitely bench our Lilligant. We have 3 Ultra Balls, which isn't great, but we can get rid of our Turffields and we'll attach to the active, and then we can research away the rest of the hand and hopefully draw into more Beedrills and a Gardenia for next turn. Even a switching card would be very nice to have, I will say. Opponent's going to play a single strike Scroll of Scorn, but that's not going to matter to us. And that's just, they're going to pass no attachment. So we're going to go ahead into this Lilligant. And I think, no, we won't catch her. We'll actually quick ball away the catcher. That's the play here. So we can grab ourselves another Beedrill. We can actually find a Crobat V here as well. If we quick ball or Ultra Ball away the Lumineon and Ultra Ball, and get ourselves a Crobat to draw a few more cards. And we can potentially actually get a Gardenia play off here if we were very, very lucky. We're going to go for the Crobat. We're going to Trekking Shoes here, see what we can find. Yeah, we'll grab another Trekking Shoes, why not? And we'll Trekking Shoes here for another Trekking Shoes, why not? And then we'll Trekking Shoes here for a Turffield, which we don't need. Lilligant, which we also don't need. We can quick ball away that Lilligant. Grab ourselves a Beedrill, and now we can Pokégear and see if we can find a Gardenia's Vitality. We do not, so we're actually just going to fail this, because I'd like to research the rest of this hand away. Getting our Lilligant VSTAR. We're not getting a Gardenia just yet, but I do want to thin this hand down a little bit, getting rid of the Quick Ball and the Boss. We have all 4 Gardenia in the deck, which is a little concerning that we don't have it just yet. But I'm going to wait and see to what we draw, and we're actually going to not Twin Needle here, because we're going to retreat. And actually, we should Pokégear here. I'm going to grab that Gardenia, just so we can draw into a card with Dance Gracefully. Now, the reason I didn't attack there... Oh, there's our other Gardenia, of course. I didn't attack there because the Scroll of Scorn, they could almost return KO our Beedrill, and they have the single strike energy, so if we got 2 heads, we were going to be doing 160. They would have been doing a lot of damage in return, but they're just going to mean look, which means we can't retreat, which that's okay, because we have the Lilligant and we top deck the Air Balloon. So we're going to go for the Star Perfume here, grabbing a bunch of energy cards out of our deck, and we're actually going to be able to take out this Umbreon in 1 turn here. So we can go ahead with the Air Balloon. We can use the Gardenia, draw into all of our desired cards and put them on the Beedrill. And we'll even Telescopic Sight this one for the future. Play the Heavy Ball. Just take a peep. We have a lot of energy prized, but that does not matter because we can go into Beedrill V and Swarming Sting knock out the Urshifu. And now you're thinking, well, why did you do that? Because I have weakness on the Umbreon, for sure. And if they evolve into the VMAX, it's just a free knockout. They can't KO because they have no Houndour in play. So our Beedrills are putting in a lot of work here. If they're going to boss something up, it doesn't matter because we have energy to retreat. Oh, that does matter. We need to find our Escape Rope now, which sucks. And we actually top deck it. That's hilarious. Okay, so now we're just gonna Gardenia again. That's so funny. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Play this. We'll Escape Rope into our Beedrill. and we're gonna Swarming Sting our opponent's active Pokemon for 400 damage, just taking a clean knockout and destroying my opponent's single striker Urshifu VMAX deck. That was so funny. How do we just top deck that? So what do you think of my Beedrill V deck? I absolutely love this deck. We got some pretty good games in today, and I think this card is really, really powerful thanks to Hisuian Lilligant VSTAR being able to guarantee everything you need in order to power it up. This is, in my opinion, the optimal way to play Beedrill V, because it essentially almost guarantees you a turn 2 Gardenia and a turn 2 Swarming Sting for 200 or more, because we also have Lumineon in here to find Gardenias, plus the Pokégears. Now, there's a couple changes I might make to this deck, I don't know yet, but one of them might be actually removing boss's orders in favor of more Pokemon catchers, and I'm going to tell you why. I find myself often not hitting my Gardenia off of my Pokégear. I don't know why. We play 4 of them in the deck, and there's a really high chance we hit them, because these essentially act as other Gardenias if you think about it that way. But sometimes I'll hit boss when I don't need to hit boss, and the Pokégear essentially becomes kind of more useless than actually helpful, because I'd rather not have hit that boss and had it in my hand and then had to like research it or quick ball it away after. So I might remove boss in favor of catcher simply for the fact that this deck does not require you to really use boss, because you can snipe anywhere on the board as you please, and the damage change isn't super high. You might want boss to trap something, or you might want boss to bring up a Manaphy, but other than those are the only 2 very niche scenarios where you would use it. Another card I might consider putting into this deck is actually Kricketune. I'm going to show you why right now. Kricketune with the Swelling Tune ability makes your grass Pokemon have 40 more HP. Now, 40 more HP is a big deal because a lot of Pokemon hit the magic number of 220, such as Hisuian Samurai VSTAR, or even VMAX. Its base damage is 210, and even with the Power Tablet, that becomes 240. So they need 2 tablets or a belt and a tablet in order to knock out the Beedrill. This is just for an example, right? The 1-1 Kricketune line might be really good, especially because we have 2 Heavy Ball, and we have Lilligant VSTAR in order to search out any grass Pokemon or energy. So you could even remove some energy and throw in a Kricketune in here. The thing is, that will be your support Pokemon, because you'll have a Lilligant, you'll have Lumineon, you'll have a Lilligant, and you'll have 4 Beedrill in play, which leaves room for you to choose between a Bat, a Lumineon, or a Kricketune. And it makes the deck a little bit more inconsistent, in my opinion. But the last card I would say to add is maybe a Choice Belt, so you can do 230 to active Pokemon V instead of going with a 2 Telescopic Sight like I did. You might want to go for a 1-1 Choice Belt line. But other than that, I think this deck is super solid. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed this deck. This deck is one of the more kind of funky ones I've made, but I think I really like it. It's not really meta or anything, but it can compete with a lot of the meta decks, I find, especially with Darkrai running amok. You can snipe their support Pokemon, and you can hit them for weakness in the active, one-shotting them. And yeah, so like I said, like the video if you enjoyed. Comment down below, what are your thoughts on this deck? I really love to hear every single person's thoughts, what they think could make the deck better, what they think could be changed or taken out or whatever. And last but not least, subscribe to the channel. I have more deck techs coming out every single week, going to be twice weekly, and I really appreciate you. We're trying to get to 100 subs by the end of July. That is my goal. As of time of recording, it's July 1st, so hopefully we can hit that goal. We're at 83 subs right now too, so I think it's very possible. With the Pokemon Go set releasing, there's going to be a lot of cool decks to build, a lot of one prize decks, a lot of VSTAR decks. I'm very, very excited for all those cards to release. But anyways, as I said, thank you so much for watching, and Hitmonchanting out.